and welcome to episode 25, as I've just been informed, of the Big Dorkgasm podcast. I, as you probably know, all our devout listeners, am Rob. And let's see who. I'm going to introduce Justin first.
Greetings and salutations.
I don't think I've ever done that before.
No,
I think
feels
you're
good.
sometimes second, sometimes last, but first.
It feels right.
Week. Yeah.
Mm.
And then I don't know who that guy making that noise was. That might have been Krispy.
Hello.
Well, that was disturbing.
Wow, that was... What was that?
Hello.
Bad dog.
Hello.
So.
Oh, that's even worse. Move on.
Oh, I thought Kyle was with us for a second, but no, he's not.
He was just trying to possess Krispy, I guess.
That's right.
I don't know.
Well,
Don't mind me, I'm just having some coffee.
So,
yeah.
Let's see. What's the big?
Well, I was you know how last week, or I guess we'll pretend it was last episode, I was talking about foods and all that nonsense. Since that time, I came across a pretty funny article about, I guess people on Reddit had posted some of their experiences about fast food, but this particular one's called 14 fast food items employers confess is the one item you should never order. So I know we had talked about the waffle taco and Dunkin' Donuts, the St. Patrick's Day. But I just thought it was fun. Some of these were cracked me up. Don't order anything at the McCafe because everyone's inept at cleaning the machine, so even the managers don't really know how. So they're running the coffee, everything through these dirty tubes. They're just horribly dirty machines, I guess.
I know where I'm going for breakfast.
Yep, so don't order McCafe stuff. I mean, that may be let me preface this by saying this is all a particular location by a particular person. This may not be...
It's close here.
This is not an umbrella, a blanket. Don't ever order this at McDonald's, but...
I'll just say that I've actually saw that article also, and I'm not impressed. I was not thrown off of any of these foods by reading that because... I've eaten a hot dog at a sporting event, so I figured that nothing worse than that could enter my system.
Well, yeah, what Rob's talking about, I guess this particular park concession stand, they would make the hot dogs and then put them in water, and they would keep them in the back, and they would put them onto the grill again later. So they would cook them once, but they would keep them for up to 2 days in water, hot dog water.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I just meant I've eaten hot dogs, which are completely disgusting, and I ate them at sporting events, which I know are not the most sanitary conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So seriously, that's the worst thing.
It's funny because we talked about beans at Taco Bell at one point, that you could just order beans. But they said to stay away from the bean. This particular person to stay away from the beans and the steak. The beans start out looking like cat food, and the directions are add water and stir until you can't see white anymore. What's white? I don't know. So yeah, I know Justin doesn't usually eat at Taco Bell anyway, so...
No, because I like my insides not hating me.
And then they say the steak was even worse. It would, especially if you were on dish duty, I guess if it sits out too long, the steak becomes like hair gel.
Oh my god. You're just trying to ruin people's appetites? Is that what this show is going to be about?
Last time, I thought it was appropriate to give the other side. I know we love junk food and everything, but I guess we still have to be careful. Wendy's chili. The meat from the chili actually comes from the grill top that expires and dries up, and it's put into the warming drawer. And that's what they put into the chili to give it... Yeah.
That's right, folks. Krispy's here to make it so you never want to eat out anywhere ever again. You're welcome, America.
I think it was on Bark.com that I read on the comments that somebody said that one was bogus because the chili comes complete in pouches, like it's completely made. You don't add anything to it; you just heat it up.
This may be one warped Wendy's in particular. Movie theater popcorn. Actually, that wasn't a surprise at all. Like they do put it in giant bags and reheat it in the morning.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all either.
Popcorn, it's popcorn.
Popcorn, yeah, I actually kind of like stale-ish popcorn, you know. That's maybe just me. But,
Yeah, well, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if you gave me a choice, yeah, I'd eat that again. I don't care.
yeah.
And it's popcorn. It's still gonna taste like popcorn.
Exactly. Yeah, that one I was like, okay, I knew that. I've known enough people that have worked at the movie theater. I've seen that. The pasta at Panera is basically all microwaved, including the mac and cheese.
Yeah. Everything at Panera.
Except the sandwiches.
They're another place.
Yeah.
They're another place that gets all their soup in these giant bags and just heat it up.
They just heat it up. Yeah, I mean, you can, if you're there, you can watch them do it. I mean, you stand at the counter and you see them toss it into a dish and put it in the microwave. I'm like, yeah, I could have done that.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I've actually got a bit of a vendetta against Panera.
Really?
Because oh yes, I do. Because we're sitting here calling it Panera. Do you know where this company was started?
Here?
Louis.
St. Louis.
No, St. Louis.
Just
yes.
Here.
And
but you live in Florida.
But I'm from St. Louis. And in St. Louis, it is called the St. Louis Bread Company. But so if you go to St. Louis, you'll drive by all over the place St. Louis Bread Company stores, and the signage and everything is identical to the Paneras that you see everywhere else in the country, except for the name. And they decided to call themselves Panera outside of St. Louis, thinking that the name St. Louis in the in the title would be off-putting to people and would not do well. So
why the hell would that be off-putting? That makes no sense.
I don't know, because fuck them, that's why.
Well,
the more you know.
There's just something wrong with you.
Dropping them.
But yeah, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, though. I mean, I know there's a lot that has to do with the name of a brand, so to speak, to sell it, but that seems like such small potatoes. Yeah,
it really does. I don't know. I mean, because they still have like what is that pizzeria Uno thing? The Chicago is in the title somewhere.
Uno.
Like there are places you can go that have place names in the title. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. Why they thought St. Louis was.
Because Panera is exotic sounding. It's like bistro.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I saw on a list, a best of restaurant list, and they had the best California style sandwiches, and they said Panera. I'm like, St. Louis, that's fucking, it's a St. Louis thing. It's not, that's really like culturally about as far from California as you could possibly get. So, goddamn.
McNuggets at McDonald's. It actually isn't about the actual meat. This one's about, I guess, when they heat them up, there's a timer that goes off, but 9 times out of 10, people just reset the timer instead of making new ones. Like, so they'll sit in there, and you order them, and they'll just set the timer again to warm them up. Could go on all night until the nuggets are sold, basically. So always ask for fresh chicken nuggets, I guess.
Can I get the nuggets that were there from this morning, please? Those would be wonderful.
Taste fantastic.
Yeah, those are the best. And can you just give me some open barbecue containers that have been kind of sitting out for a while? That would be great. Thanks.
This one cracked me up. I don't believe it, but it cracked me up. This guy worked at KFC for 4 years. I guess the barbecue sandwich is actually made from chicken too old and stale to give to homeless shelters. So they soak it in barbecue sauce until it can be pulled, and then they keep it in the heater for a month. I call BS, but still, it's funny because he had in very small print, I still order it, though. So apparently, even if he did make it up, he still eats it. Gas station Slurpees, they talk about just the mold in the machines, which is a shame because I do love me some gas station Slurpees. But that makes total sense. Yeah. And the heartbreakingest one of the year of the article is the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. And I think I knew this at some point. There was a story about it, but they don't make them fresh anymore. They all come frozen.
Yeah, I mean, well, at least
they used to make
them
fresh.
The Dunkin' Donuts are typically like like part of a gas station, like in the same building or whatever. Like there's not room for any sort of bakery large enough to put out the volume of donuts that they make.
Yeah.
So
Well, and half
yeah,
of
that's
them
not a
are
surprise.
Dunkin' Donuts / Baskin Robbins now.
Which is like I'm an atheist, but oh my God, that's as close to heaven as I can imagine. Donuts and ice cream.
Yeah, it's
You know,
great.
at Universal Studios Orlando, um, they just built this whole Springfield town thing for The Simpsons, and you can get the classic Simpsons, donut with the pink frosting, the sprinkles on it,
Uh-oh.
and they make then they're giant ones too, like just freaking huge. I would say probably like 8 inches across.
Holy cow.
Um, yeah, they're enormous. But at the same little stand where they sell those, oh, and it's a lard lad's donut. I
Of
forgot to
course.
mention that. Yeah. But they also sell a donut sundae where they take one of these not the big, huge donut, but a regular sized donut, cut it in half, and just build like this massive sundae on top of it, which is amazingly delicious. About
All the time.
are so disgusted with yourself and with life and with everything in general that you can't eat anymore.
Oh, food. But yeah, also, I guess Dunkin' Donuts is doing a Easter thing now, so they've got like marshmallow peeps on top of donuts. If you want to get those.
Oh my god.
My daughter had one of those. She was thrilled. It's the problem when you live fairly close. We live pretty close to one just down the street. It's like our Sunday thing. Gotta get the donuts Sunday morning. So yeah, that was food stuff again. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna make that a whole thing on every start of every podcast. Gonna be about food. Not really. Movie news stuff. Did you guys see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer?
Yeah, it looked surprisingly not terrible.
Boy, I don't know if I'd go that far. I just, I don't know. I thought it was funny that somebody made a picture that put the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle next to a picture of Shrek with a friggin' bandana on, and I'm like, yeah, that pretty much looks like that.
Yeah, you're talking about when Michelangelo takes off his bandana
Yep.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yep, just looks like Shrek.
It's funny because only he kind of looks like that. Like they each kind of have their own look, and like Leonardo actually looks pretty decent, but yeah, Michelangelo has this weird kind of pug nose thing going on. I don't know what that was all about.
And
They're kinda
April's wearing
huge.
her yellow coat.
She is. She's wearing the. But the turtles are very big. Like
Yeah.
They're huge.
I don't know. I almost prefer them a little shorter. I don't know. They're less charming that big. You know. There's-
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's so unrealistic.
I know. If
Yeah.
seriously, mutated turtles would never look like that.
Well, and I just don't like the idea that they've changed it, that they've created them to be crime fighters, basically. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna miss this. Thanks.
Oh, is that the whole
yeah.
thing?
They've created them, like Shredder and I don't know who the hell else has created them
The
to
rumor
fight
is it's Splinter, or the guy that becomes Splinter.
Well, probably, whatever. I just...
Because there is a
You know.
Splinter.
But no guy became Splinter. A rat became
No,
Splinter, who was
there's
the rat was
there's
owned by a
there's
guy.
no, that's from the Jim Henson 1989. There's versions where his was it Mato Yoshi is Shredder, right?
I have no
think
idea
so.
anymore.
that sounds about right.
But there's particular versions where there was the good, for his friend, basically comes to America, but he's mutated with a rat, basically. So his family died in a fire in Japan that Shredder caused because he was in love with the same woman, and they had a big battle and stuff happened. Ooh, it totally
That makes no sense.
no, it makes total sense. So
No, it doesn't. It does not make sense that a man would merge with a rat when he gets submitted to the ooze, whereas these turtles just turn into humanoids when they don't merge with any humans. it's not logically consistent, and I refuse to believe your story.
Well, but that's how a lot of the other mutants, where they're all mutated with animals accidentally, like a fly or something. That just, I don't know. I don't know why the turtles mutate just into big turtles, but it's one of those things you don't think too much about. Either way,
Nonetheless, just
Michael Bay gonna
stop.
ruin our childhood again. I don't know. I wasn't as sad after watching the trailer. It was a little optimistic.
I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority, but it just does nothing for me. I don't know.
I like the new cartoon. I'll just keep watching that.
If they'd make another animated movie, I'm down with that. I liked TMNT.
Yeah, it was good.
So, they can do that. Another one of those. I'm down for that. But they need to leave this crap alone.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, they are also going to tend to make us cry again as our inner child. I guess there's going to be a Gem in the Holograms movie. Directed
Because
by
that's what the world needs.
John M. Chu, who directed the G.I. Joe Retaliation. So they're actually they don't even know what to do with it. They're like even just asking people to submit ideas. Like, well, we're gonna make this movie happen. How would you do it?
AKA, we're completely out of ideas.
Yeah.
We just picked this one off of the pile. What do you think we can do with this?
Yeah.
And shove it up your ass. There you go.
Right up your bum. Did you guys see the X-Men Days of Future Past trailer that was released fairly recent?
That I'm excited about.
Yeah, I really like everything about it so far. I have no complaints.
I don't know. I liked X-Men First Class, but the Bryan Singer movies, especially, I don't think they really hold up that well. I wasn't even
the second
a huge
one
fan
does
when they were new. I don't know. It's like they were superhero movies that were ashamed to be superhero movies, and now that they've shown that they can make more faithful comic book movies without them looking hokey. I just don't think it's gonna hold up to what's been released since.
Yeah, well, I think X-Men 2 actually holds up really well. I've continually watched that. If it's on FX, I'll have it on in the background or whatever.
Yeah, it's just the third one that was the bastard child.
Crappy. First one, you're right, is very antiquated. I think part of the problem too is that I don't blame Bryan Singer as much, but Fox are big pushers, particularly in that genre, of trying to get movies out and cutting the budget while they're mid-production. So they constantly be pushing, okay, you got to get it done by this day, by this day, by this. Okay, but you can't. We're cutting the budget, and because they won't believe in a project. So Bryan Singer that happened to him twice, and that's why he didn't do the third one. He couldn't handle it anymore. He was like, I can't do the product I want to do. And then he went on to make Superman, which gave him a huge budget, and Superman Returns, and I enjoy it, but a lot of people didn't.
Oh, come on, that was terrible. And I would just like to mention, going back a little bit, my research assistant just looked this up, and apparently the original origin for Splinter was that he was a pet. So
was that the one, Peter Laird and whatever the comic?
Yeah, that was the original comic book origin, and they used it for the movie. So you probably should not doubt me.
I'm just saying that there have been, and particularly in the cartoons, it's where he's an actual. I forgot his name now, but he was a human, and then he also, when I guess the same ooze that merged the turtles had merged him with the rat. So,
but yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for Days of Future Past.
I'm excited about it because the story.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most interested in. I don't care as long as they tell that story and tell it right. I think it's going to be really good.
What do you mean tell it right by like the comic standards? Just do it justice. Because I don't.
Well, do it justice. I mean, in fix the continuity errors from the previous movies.
Well, because wasn't it Kitty Pryde that goes back, but it's Wolverine that goes back. I already know that. So.
Yeah.
Inside his own head.
What's kind of interesting to me is that they haven't made any reference or mention that Cable will be in this movie, and I'm like, well, he's the one that does all the time traveling in the comics. Seems kind of weird that he wouldn't be involved in some way, shape, or form. But
Why would he be involved?
why not?
Cable wasn't, because he wasn't part of this story at all.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying part of this story, but just for namesake, if they're bringing in all of these mutants for this, it just seemed like that would be one that they would bring in. But it looks like they brought in Bishop instead. So,
I wonder if they still have to pay royalties to Rob Liefeld over that.
Well, see, that might be because I thought it was funny that it was Bishop that they've shown and said that will be in this and not Cable, and it just.
I've heard nothing about anyone being cast for Cable, and if they have, it's like a secret where
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of if they're holding it back and he's actually in it. But I don't know, just the whole time travel thing. That's his forte in going back in the comics.
Well, they are going to do
Bishop makes sense to me because of his whole origin being the fact that he lives in this real shitty future where the X-Men were all killed by some traitor, and he goes back to try to stop that. So he's kind of Days of Future Pasty himself.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's wrong and that it's not. I just when I think of this, I just think
actually, the last time, and I haven't kept up with all of the X-Men comics. And I really don't give a shit about Cable or Bishop. But the last time I saw either of those guys, Bishop was traveling around time, chasing Cable, trying to kill Cable. So.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh. No, I mean it's all good. Just something that kind of I don't know bothered me, but just curious about. But
And Peter Dinklage.
I'm sure.
I mean, come on. He's gonna be in it too.
That's right, Tyrion. I mean, wait a minute.
Tyrion Lannister. Something else I wanted to mention and bring up. Have you seen the Peanuts trailer? Yeah, it's a teaser trailer.
No.
Yeah.
I heard something about it. I haven't seen it.
When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, geez, no. But it's actually made by Blue Sky, who did all the Dr. Seuss books, which I think have all been pretty darn good. The Horton Hears a Who and the Lorax and all them. It's got a very unique look. It looks like it's 2D, but it's 3D, but it looks like it's 2D. It's hard to explain. It's got a very soft kind of artistic brush look to it. And you only really see Charlie Brown and Snoopy and everything, and it's just I think it's just to kind of show off the animation style and get people used to it. But I'm actually fairly optimistic because they do want to be very sincere to the material, particularly the early material, which is very. I don't know if you've ever read the Schultz before it was called Little. Was it Little Kids or Little something? Before it was Peanuts. It was very cynical and hard edged originally back in the 50s.
Yeah, I would imagine that the Schultz estate probably is keeping a pretty tight rein on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, but some of the animated stuff they put out recently has been horrendous, though. Like on Cartoon Network, it's like premieres only on Cartoon Network or whatever. Like it's Valentine's Day, Charlie Brown, or it's Martin Luther King Day, Charlie Brown. Any excuse to put out one for a holiday, it seems like they're doing, and they're really.
I thought that it's Rosh Hashanah, Charlie Brown.
Rosh Hashanah. Ramadan. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was something people should check out. Make a decision for themselves whether they'll dig it or not. Just some quick movie stuff. Did you guys hear that Bradley Cooper? There's a rumor going on Bradley Cooper might replace Harrison Ford in the next Indiana Jones.
Oh, I thought that was just a name that was mentioned as somebody that might be possible, but that was it's kind of like us saying who should play Indiana Jones? Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
That was as far as the conversation ever went.
And I really, you have to think why. Okay, if you're an actor and you think that there is an opportunity to play Indiana Jones, you think in your childhood man, that would be awesome to be Indiana Jones, but then reality sets in and you're like, why in God's name would I want to continue that franchise? After that last one, I don't know, man.
I was fine with the last one up until the aliens. Really? The Nazi jungle chase, I should say. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I always thought that they missed the boat with the Mummy movies, where the Brendan Fraser character should have been like an Indiana Jones type of guy, but with a more supernaturally kind of adventures. Like they shouldn't have just kept making mummy movies. It should have been like the Mummy, and then he does something else with some other supernaturally thing. But he should have been like an Indiana Jones type of franchise character.
The first one, I think, very much was so.
But then they didn't take advantage of it. They just made another Mummy movie instead of doing something else. Like that character, I thought really could have been more than what it ended up being.
Yeah, Egyptian.
But do you think that if they would have gone along those lines, it would have been compared to, say, a Van Helsing type thing? Because
it was way before that.
Well, Van Helsing as a legend has been around since.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was going at. I wasn't saying about the movie.
Oh,
no. No, we're not.
No, I don't think so. Because Van Helsing was about one specific. Well,
he mostly just hunted vampires.
And he didn't even hunt vampires. He got called in to consult on a particular case that happened to be. And he was a physician. He was a doctor. He was brought in by another doctor to consult. Why is this woman so fucking anemic and losing blood and shit?
She's just She's just emo. That's what
she's
a goddamn vampire. That's why. And Van Helsing was not even a good vampire hunter because he was not a vampire hunter.
Yeah. It was all based on speculation from what he had read. It's like, oh. Yeah. So I guess we're just gonna give that a rumor.
Yeah.
Exactly true.
Wow. This is going to be bad. This is going to be real bad. This is a road that I don't know if we want to travel down.
Does Rob have any breaking news at all? Because I totally want to use it or something, but I don't.
Did either of you guys pre-order the
breaking news
Elder Scrolls Online?
I did. I've been playing it actually.
Yeah, I've played a very, very tiny amount today. I'm very happy now that I found the option to invert my camera, which I could not find at first because it was grayed out, which made me just completely skip over it when I was looking for it.
Oh, so you like the inverted control, up,
yes.
down, and down? Really? Ugh.
Yeah, I do that on like every game ever.
Ugh.
I can't.
So this is one of those things where Rob is the reason that option exists.
Not me. I didn't know anybody
shooters
didn't use that option.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, many people do for shooters, but I don't know many people that use it for like kind of like action slashing.
I just to me, it's a 3D. It's a first-person game.
Do you play in the first person? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I play a little like that sometimes, but particularly because I'm used to MMOs like Warcraft and stuff. World of Warcraft, I play in 3D. Third person.
I've just been playing a ton of Skyrim the last few months, and so I'm treating it like.
Did you see you can collect lore books?
No, I've not gotten that far yet.
Yeah, they're just out randomly in the world. You can collect.
Which faction are you?
Alderi Domain. Dominion. So I play. What?
How do you really feel, Rob?
Why? I'm not playing an elf. I'm playing a Khajiit. Plus, if you pre-order, you can play any race in that realm. So.
That doesn't matter. They're just the Dominion's horrible, and if you played Skyrim, you should know this. And,
but they also have one of the best starting areas in the game. So.
No, I don't care.
I don't care. Plus the Khajiit that you deal with, the kind of through the main storyline for that realm is fucking awesome. Razamdar or whatever, he's great.
Ra's al Ghul?
No. That's exactly what I was thinking. Ra's al Ghul. How did Batman stuff get into this?
So it's.
I'm very interested now. I picked the Daggerfall Alliance or whatever. Covenant, yeah, and strictly because my very first Elder Scrolls game was Daggerfall, and it was so ambitious and so awesome, even though it was so buggy.
Yeah. What you playing in Nord or something?
In Imperial. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're playing the pre-order class.
I don't know. Whenever I played in the beta that you were so nice to hook me up with, I don't know.
It was very buggy.
I actually kind of wanted to. Typically, like in Skyrim, I was a Khajiit, and
Because they made fantastic rogues that could arch you
yes,
from
and
5 miles away, arrow through the eye.
yeah, and in Oblivion, I was a lizard dude because those are also good for roguing it up. But the Imperial, according to the little blurb that I don't know, it said something about
They have good
it
racial
for-
stats.
Yeah, so they seem to be pretty decent for stealthy stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go with that because I just was not super.
Khajiit actually have a
Impressed with
stealth
anything else.
trait. They have a
Yeah.
pretty good racial trait just for stealth. You know what? It was the most useless in there is the Argonian swim faster trait. Who cares about that? That's BS. I think that's their main passive you get no matter. You don't have to put a point into it. But I'd much rather have the Khajiit levels up medium armor expertise like 15% faster. That's their starting racial trait,
Yeah.
which is pretty nice. I'm actually playing classes that not as they're probably supposed to be played. Like my sorcerer is playing like a rogue, so he's got dual daggers and lightnings you in the face at the same time. And then I've got
See, I'd heard a lot of complaints about the viability of like mages or sorcerers or whatever.
I'm playing a
in Skyrim.
Nightblade. I'm playing a Nightblade mage, shadow. I call it shadow mage. So it's like he's a Nightblade, but he uses the siphon ability of the night, just like a.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. So, but then he's an AOE caster with the destruction staff.
Oh.
So, and then I have a Bowplar as well, who's he's a bow and an archery Templar. So he does AOE. He's like
I might have to.
There's tons of check out I'll do a shout out here to Tamriel Foundry. They're a fantastic like fan site that do a lot of mechanics with the in-game. They do a lot of videos and stuff too. But their forums are great. I think they're probably better than the actual game forums.
Well, the actual ones are terrible.
Yeah, but there's a lot of theory crafting on there and a lot of people posting cool builds, and that's where I took a lot of cues from that. I was like, you know what? That's what I'm not going to play a class how they're meant to be played. I'm going to try all kinds of different stuff. But I'm already level 12, I think, with my
Oh.
sorcerer.
I don't think I got to I played through the intro type of thing and got to Daggerfall and then I quit because I was not feeling good because I'm sick. That's how you can tell when you're sick, whenever you don't even feel like playing video games.
Yeah.
Like you're just sitting on the couch anyway and you can't be bothered to play a video game. Yeah.
Well, having children too. When they go to bed, like the last thing you want to do is do something else. Like you just want to sleep or sit on the couch and tune out. That's what.
Actually, I brought my Windows PC downstairs, hooked it up to the big ass TV, got a wireless keyboard and mouse, and got some external speakers hooked up to it. So like I'm playing on the big ass TV, and it looks fantastic. Yeah,
it's a good looking game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And a lot of people complain, oh, the graphics aren't as good as Skyrim. Like, well, you can't have that amount of graphic, in a MMO.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. People can't play it.
Yeah.
But it's still they did a damn fine job of. To be honest, the characters don't look nearly as fugly as they do in Skyrim. You ever try and make a good-looking character in Skyrim? Oh my god.
Yeah, the city of Daggerfall looks really nice, actually.
Yeah.
So
they all look.
I have not seen anything beyond that, but that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it all looks really good. I don't have any complaints about the graphics or anything. And to be honest, it's been probably the smoothest MMO launch I've ever been in. There were no down servers at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. And these are all like mega servers. They don't have different realms servers.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. There's some few bugs here and there. Some people complaining about quests that are bugging out, but I mean that's MMO life.
Yeah.
These are all people that played Skyrim. I mean, you think Skyrim, how buggy that shit was. They would fix.
Well, I mean, I remember the EverQuest launch and trying to take the boat across the zones and it would crash for 20 minutes and shit. It just.
Oh my god, those are just awful flashbacks.
World
to
of
that
Warcraft.
Game.
Yeah.
That first day. Oof. servers down constantly.
Oh, I didn't play that at the very beginning actually.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
I played in
that was
beta
bad.
was doing
and
City
first
Heroes.
at launch.
Mhm.
Yeah, City Heroes that had some rough
'Cause
times too.
that came out right before, or not right before, but
About
shortly before World of Warcraft.
6 months
I
or so,
played that.
yeah. Yeah,
I missed
we
that.
kind of skipped to games because I wanted I wanted Rob's breaking news thing.
And yes, and this is going to be the speed round of our podcast.
Yeah.
So
Just a couple of quick things in the movie still. Disney announces Cars 3, and I don't care about that. I cared about The Incredibles 2. Of course, we're going to have to wait till 2019.
yeah, I was about to say it's
Wow.
they should have announced that 2 years ago, and then we'd be closer. But we gotta wait a long while.
Brad Bird's
I
directing something.
went and saw the Muppets.
I'm sorry.
Most Wanted. No, it was decent.
Yeah, he said it's pretty good. It isn't as good as the first one, but then Jason Segel didn't write or direct.
Yeah. I mean, I actually thought that the Constantine, the evil Kermit character, was really, really funny. And his song, I thought, was
It's
really,
pretty
really
good.
musical.
They said that was one of the
Yeah.
highlights.
Yeah, that was pretty decent. I forget. Oh, Frozen was the second feature, which I had not seen before, and that was all right.
That was only all right. It's fantastic. It's
Eh.
fantastic. It is
I
fantastic.
don't know.
It's one of the best Disney movies to come out in years.
Yeah, my wife does not label it as fantastic. Yes, we both thought it was overrated.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
What? How so?
Yeah. I don't know. Like everything we'd heard was it was so amazing, and we're sitting there and it's just not.
You know what? I was Up was like kind of
Like I honestly think out of all the animated features I saw last year, and I apparently saw quite a few because I have to rely on the drive-in for movie watching now, and they show family movies. Despicable Me 2 was so much better than that.
See, and I kept hearing, oh, it's fantastic. That was one I thought was overrated. I don't think it had nearly the
you're
charm that the first one.
You're wrong.
No,
Despicable Me 2 was awesome, and I can't wait for
it was
third one,
great.
so
The first one.
Yeah,
was
I'm
so
gonna
much
go on
better.
record as saying I still think the first one was better than the
Yeah.
second, even though the second one was good. Just saying. You're outnumbered, Rob, so we're right. You're not.
no, because you don't count. You're like the Kyle of this episode, so you get 0 votes.
Oh, good lord! Why do I have to be the Kyle?
Why is there always?
Kyle's not here.
Why do we have to have a Kyle?
Yeah, no kidding. We finally got an episode without him,
I
and
was
now
saying,
you're bringing him into it.
You know, it's because deep down, Rob misses Kyle. He wants
I
that
think so.
punching bag.
Yeah.
Needs a punching bag.
But I don't know. It just I guess we'd heard so much about it, and then when we saw it, we were like, this is what I don't understand why everybody was so in love with this.
Well, I think
The
that
music. The
probably-
music
Oh,
is
well-
fantastic.
Well, it's overhyped almost to a point
Yeah.
where you were almost expecting more than what you actually were going to get.
Well,
And-
first off, I was annoyed with Frozen because the previews were so bad. I had no idea it was a princess movie, let alone a double princess movie.
But it's
based
not.
on those previews, because it is too. There's 2 goddamn princesses.
Yeah,
How
but
is
it's
that not a princess
But
movie?
that's the thing. It doesn't have that same princess movie storyline. You know, like oh,
But-
that's what they made fun of that. Like it's about 2 sisters
But-
more than
The previews just showed that snowman
Olaf.
trying to get his carrot nose because he sneezes it off, and then
The reindeer, the moose
reindeer
reindeer.
guy.
You're right, because when I first saw that, I was like, I don't know. It has
Yeah, I don't
almost
know what the
nothing to
movie's
do.
about,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just I don't know. It just and then we kept hearing how awesome it was, and so we went to see it because it was the double feature thing, and we're like that's
I really enjoyed
seriously? That's what everybody's talking about.
it. Yeah. I think because of the music. I mean, the music is so popular that they don't even play the Demi Lovato version of "Let It Go" on the radio. You know, usually with the Disney movies, they have a famous singer sing one of the, the single hits on there, and it's always on the radio. You know, like from Aladdin or whatever.
Yeah.
They
I
don't even
don't-
play the Demi Lovato. They play the actual one. What's her name? That John Travolta's name butchered. But the one that is in the movie. So they actually play the movie version on the radio because it's that much better than.
You know what's
Lovato.
funny is I've heard so much about that song. I don't have any idea how that song goes.
Sing
I
it,
have
Justin.
No recollection. I have no recollection of it
I
whatsoever.
I would want to play it for you now, but I think Disney would literally take down our video. I would have to edit it out of the YouTube. But
Yeah, I guess I'll have to track it down, but I have no idea.
I mean, it's,
Yeah, I couldn't sing it if you wanted me to. I haven't watched the movie. I've avoided pretty much everything that has to do with that. So no, I'm good. Thanks.
no, it's good. It's very good.
Yep. Well.
It's the same people that made Tangled, and that's another household favorite here.
Now,
Yeah.
I enjoyed Tangled. Actually, I probably like Tangled more than Frozen.
Did you see that they actually make an appearance, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider?
Yeah, I heard that.
You can barely. It's like the back of their heads. But it's funny.
Yeah,
There's
so
all
that's
these
why.
Rumors that tying in all
The
these
King
different
Queen died
movies,
going to their wedding.
going to their wedding, yeah,
Yeah.
and that it was their ship is the one that Ariel found in the Little Mermaid.
Yeah. I hated The Little Mermaid too.
What?
Yeah, that was awful.
What? That was
Yeah,
like
Little
the big.
Mermaid was...
That was the beginning of Disney finally getting back to their roots. Like they had
No,
so many.
Aladdin was the beginning of Disney getting good.
No, no.
Like,
Little Mermaid was
Little Mermaid was awful.
And then Beauty and the Beast, and then Aladdin.
Aladdin, no. Beauty and the Beast was starting to ramp up, but Aladdin is when they actually started sticking.
No, Little Mermaid is when they started doing.
No, you're wrong.
No, I'm not. That was
Yeah,
like the
'cause-
silver age of Disney, starting with Little Mermaid all the way through.
Little Mermaid's
Oh.
awful. And you know what? Frankly, you're awful. So.
You smell like poop, Mister.
Okay, gentlemen. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go back to a nice place. Star Wars. This isn't a big surprise. I don't know why people thought it would be news, but Star Wars 7 is gonna take place 30 years after Return of the Jedi.
What?
Yeah. Because this takes 30 years after it's being
Return of the
filmed 30
Jedi.
years after Return of the Jedi. All the actors are 30 years older, so I don't know why that's a big surprise, but it is. Except minus a couple years, right? Because technically 84 was Return of the Jedi, right?
Something like
Yeah.
that. It just, you know what? Here's the thing. Like, Star Wars nerds just want to be pissed off about something.
Yeah.
Like, they always want to be pissed off about something.
Like I don't know if anyone was pissed off, but I thought that was funny. That was
Oh.
new. That was a news item. It's like that that
okay.
warranted an article. Yeah.
Like, everything I've read about, and I try not to keep up with the Star Wars stuff because it's so far away that I just don't even care.
In a
I don't know.
galaxy far, far
Yeah.
away.
But yeah, like everything I happen to catch about it is just people complaining about everything that gets announced. So I'm actually quite surprised that whenever you said it was announced that that there wasn't some sort of huge outrage over this.
Yeah, I don't. Have they cast the main characters? I mean, they've been talking about who should play the main character. I don't
The
know.
only thing
No, they
I
only
thought
cast
that
that one dude that's
Yeah.
apparently supposed to play the villain from that girls show or whatever.
Yeah,
That's,
the weird looking dude.
Yeah, the
yeah,
weird
that
look
weird
guy.
dude.
Yeah.
But that's it. There's been nothing else since then.
Ghostbusters reboot to shoot in early 2005, but it's without director Ivan Reitman. I guess he
So
bowed
so
out after.
We're like 9 years. They've shot it 9 years ago.
What did I say? 2015, right?
You said 2005.
Oh, 2015. My bad. My bad. It's been
That's right.
in
They've been
development
hiding it
since at
all
least
this
2005, though. They've been trying to get it off the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, I mean, they keep saying there's been numerous times where they've said that they're going to start shooting, and they obviously haven't. I don't know.
Well,
I can't imagine.
Reitman's out for sure. After
Yeah,
Harold
it's
Ramis died.
just- They really need to let it go. They
Sony
really
can't.
need-
Sony is like, this is for some reason Sony thinks this is a flagship,
If it was a
franchise.
flagship, it would have been made a long time ago.
yeah, they
to
don't want to
continue
give
on.
it up. They want to push forward. So I don't know. I mean, they could just make a new Ghostbusters movie. I'm afraid.
I mean, that's really, in my opinion, the best option for them is just don't try to tie it into the old Ghostbusters, or if you have to, as minimally as possible.
Don't even make
Because
them
it
like a
just-
young version. Don't even redo it.
Don't make it
Completely
like a
new
Peter
characters
Venkman.
or something.
Yeah,
Have Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd as mentors briefly or something, or they make a cameo like 21 Jump Street or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. So yeah, I don't. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, at this point, I still don't believe it's going to be made, but we'll see. I mean, that stuff's been talked about for how many years now? And they keep saying, oh, we've got a great script. Oh, we've got this, we've got that. They've got nothing
They got nothing
at this point, except the studio's desire for it to happen. That's it.
Well, my fear is that they're just going to give it to a young director, and they're just going to push it out. There's going to be, not a good budget for it, or, it's just going to be handled badly. I mean, it's Sony, so who knows?
All right.
Upcoming releases this next weekend. I'm excited, very excited for Captain America. I saw the first 10 minutes online they released. It was very good. I like the vibe. It's got more of a Bourne Legacy vibe than a superhero movie. Like the action is much more realistic instead of like 1940s, like whack pow, like just throwing stuff. It was very realistic in how you would fight with super strength and all that. It's gotten great reviews so far. Ton of reviews out. It's at 97%. General review at Rotten Tomatoes basically say it's a superior Avengers entry into this, into the series. Well,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going Thursday night.
So I got high hopes for that. Rio 2 comes out on 4/11.
Which is it's funny because I just saw something about that. You've heard nothing about this movie.
Yeah,
and then all of a
George
sudden,
Lopez
here's a
has been
trailer.
out. Yeah, George Lopez has been out, but he's only been really promoting his show on FX.
Yeah,
really Rio
St.
2.
George. Yeah.
So
I mean, you've really heard nothing about it. I knew from a while back that they were talking about making a second one, but there's been no promotion until all of a sudden there's just a random trailer on. I'm like, oh.
and my
they
daughter
apparently made one.
loves the original Rio, and I find it entertaining. I guess, yeah, I have a bad feeling about Rio 2. It should have been direct to DVD or.
Probably. I mean, that doesn't look like one that should have had a sequel, pushed through. But
They all do.
they're trying to just bank on it. Oh, I know. It's a given now.
Anything.
Hey, this one made just $1 more than its budget. We should make a sequul.
I just like it when they do it well, though. Like, Despicable Me 2, How to Train Your Dragon. The second one looks great. I like the whole premise. Man, who's echoing? Is that Rob? It's throwing me off. I'm hearing myself like 3 seconds later.
I don't know. It was my. I'm calling in via my Xbox, which I thought was kind of funny, but I was not playing with my controller enough, so it went to sleep or it disconnected. So there was a few seconds where I was.
I don't
bad
know.
was
I
happening.
can hear myself, and it's like I sound terrible. Why can't I have H. John Benjamin's voice? Damn it.
Because then you wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'd be. I swear. Oculus comes out 4/11 as well. I think we covered that briefly.
Yeah. We talked about that one the last time. Does look really good for a WWE production, so we'll hope for the best there.
Yeah, they've been promoting that pretty well on TV right now.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, May 2nd. We got a little bit for that one, but I've liked what I've seen.
I guess I should probably watch the last one, but whatever.
It was good. I think I mentioned that last time too. TV news: Walking Dead season finale. Did you guys watch it?
Not
course.
Oh,
Oh, good. Let's spoil it.
I believe
Okay.
I believe I mentioned that I was sick, so I did not watch it yesterday.
was that Sunday? I guess that was last.
It was last night, but I'm sorry. If you're sick, you can still watch TV, Rob. That's not an excuse.
No, there was none of that.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what happened.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's say the tone isn't nearly as big as like previous seasons, where shit
no,
goes down.
What makes me angry is that if this was on, like, say, an HBO, the final line of the episode would have been straight from the comic. Instead, they had to dumb it down for TV because of the kiddies.
Really? Nice.
Oh yeah, it would have been an F-bomb, man. That's from the
Mess
comics.
with the
That's an
wrong
F-bomb.
fucking people. Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I watched the line. I'm like, close.
Should have said fracking. Wrong
Yeah.
fracking people.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was really good. Thought it sets up for next season quite nicely.
I see. I didn't read the comic book up to this point. I did know something about the people.
This.
But
Okay.
But
This is different. I have an idea of what I think it is, but it may not be. So
well, if you saw some of the bones and stuff inside, I think they pretty much.
yeah, but I also
And
I
the way
also
they have people in cars and all that stuff.
I
it's
still
like-
think it's kind of a a misdirection,
You think so?
because that was what I thought too. But now I'm starting to question it.
Yeah, they did.
So
They didn't come right out. You'd think they would. They were very subtle. But yeah, we'll see what happens next season. Well, especially when you remember Rob at the last episode, the episode before, when Glenn and whatever make it to Terminus,
Yeah.
and they're feeding them meat. So it just
I don't know.
So
Like I
just-
said, that's what I initially thought. I still think it could be that, but it really, when you listen to what Robert Kirkman and Scott Gimple are all talking about it, they're acknowledging that that is out there, but they're not saying that that's necessarily
what
where
this
they're
is.
going with it. So they could be doing a misdirection thing too, and it could end up being it. I don't know, but it just seems way too obvious, I
Yeah.
guess, at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of things have been obvious in Walking Dead this season, anyways. They're not
Yeah.
they're not known for being terribly subtle. They're
No,
about character
no.
development, a couple episodes, and then some horrifying, action, happens, and then the fallout from that. That's a constant cycle, and that's pretty much the formula of the show. But yeah, watch it, Rob. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
No, it doesn't have the big bang a lot of the other seasons had, but I don't think that's necessary.
It didn't have that, and it was okay, because I think that this did a good job of not having this crazy ending where it's like, oh my god. It was more along the lines of finishing a story and setting up for the next story
yeah.
that they're going to tell. And I think that was important for them to do.
And there's still some unknowns, still questions, which is good.
Oh yeah.
Shield. I guess it's been confirmed that the blue alien is Kree in origin. So,
Oh, when did that happen?
this past week.
Yeah, it was just maybe a day, yesterday?
I think it was
Saturday, maybe?
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
They was it Emerald
Oh,
Emerald
is that
Con?
on?
Was that the day you were sick, so you didn't read about it?
No, is that on Sundays now?
No.
Oh, no. It was just something they released online.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just some information on it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because I hadn't seen a new episode of that for a couple of weeks now. So.
Yeah, I don't think there is a new episode until next week, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't know if you had heard. Amy Acker is what was her name in? She's
Yeah,
a Whedon
I know who you're
favorite.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to her.
She's going to be Coulson's cellist ex-love interest from the, what was it, Iron Man 3? 2? 2, 3? Or Avengers? It was Avengers. It was Avengers, right? You talked about the cellist. So
Right.
that will be introduced. And then Patton Oswalt will be making an appearance, too, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt. That's a good choice for whatever.
Yeah, I love it because he's always has one episode in almost any show ever. Like any... in any
Oh,
series.
never mind. Apparently it is new tomorrow night, so never mind.
Okay, good. American Horror Story. It's been announced what this next season will be. It'll be Freak Show. I'm looking forward to that. I still have to watch the Witches one from this past.
I've watched none of it, so that's
I
all you.
I would like you to watch the second season because that
Oh,
freaked me.
I
out.
would like to watch it. It's just not on the agenda. At
The
the
Asylum
moment.
one. Yeah.
I like the first season better.
The House.
Yeah, I mean that one.
It set
For
the
me,
tone.
though, Yeah, and I didn't realize, or I hadn't really followed any news about the show or anything, so I knew it had been renewed, but I didn't know that it was going to be an anthology series and be different every season. So I was actually surprised, at the end of the first season, because I wasn't expecting that to happen. Because on a normal TV show that is not an anthology,
Yeah.
So I was quite pleasantly surprised that they did some of the things that they did.
Yeah, Asylum really, I mean, freaked me out more than the ghosties in the house. The ghosties actually cracked me. I mean, they were pretty funny sometimes, and particularly by the end, it was kind of a little hokey. I saw that coming a mile away, but yeah, it was. They just announced Michael Chiklis. They added him to the cast for Freak Show. I don't know if he's gonna play a strongman or something.
I think this is the last season for Jessica Lange too. I think she said she was leaving after this one.
Yep, you are correct.
Well, good for her.
That
She's
much
been
I know.
fantastic.
I know of the
It's
show,
gonna be tough
but yeah.
to do it without her, I think. She's kind of like a mainstay. Both Hannibal and Bates Motel have had some really nice twists lately. Have you caught up on Hannibal at all?
Yes, I caught up with that this weekend. I'm still a little bit back on Bates Motel.
The Hannibal, I thought that was a really interesting. Sometimes team members don't make it, but holy cow!
Yeah.
You knew something was going to happen, but that was some nutty stuff.
You're talking about the
slice and dice, yes.
Yes. Okay. I was gonna say because I watched it on Hulu and I didn't know if there was a like a week delay or something. So I didn't know if I'd missed something you were talking about.
No.
Yes. Yeah, that was like holy shit.
That was wicked.
And what's funny is I'm sure that there were some people that thought that was kind of over the top, but that's a real thing that has actually been done. That's a museum exhibit that goes around touring the country.
Yeah. Although he does like a plastic kind of cover over his the way the guy that does it for the exhibit is interesting. He kind of like plasticizes everything. This was like straight up frozen. Cut him up and slides. Oh, that was rough. In Bates Motel, how far behind are you? The big revelation about who his brother is?
No, I've not gotten that far yet. The last episode I saw was when Norma's brother showed up at the very end.
Okay, yeah, this deals with that. Nice. You should see the twist. I should have seen it. I didn't. They did such a good job. I'm pretty good about figuring that stuff out. They really caught me by surprise. It was good. Community gets most likely a 6th season. And a movie!
Oh, yes. They need to officially announce it before I get too excited.
Yeah, because I was just checking TV by the numbers yesterday, and they had Community as probably renewed, and then yesterday they had it as probably canceled. So I'm like, you know what?
Oh, did they change it?
Goddamn idea.
Gosh, because I can't wait for this week's episode. This week is the G.I. Joe episode. I cannot wait.
But I think every season, TV by the numbers has said that Community is probably canceled. So.
Yeah, that's true. So probably it's better if they put it that way then.
I don't. Have people not? If the numbers not been good?
It's one of those things where
numbers.
Yeah, I mean they're community numbers. They don't really change. But the one thing that I think it has going for it is that NBC has no other comedies that are worth a damn. So I think that's the only thing going for it, that since they don't really have any mainstay shows, I think it probably will get renewed for a final season because they don't have a whole lot to lose doing another 13-episode season. I mean, really.
No.
Yeah, that's my feeling too. It's not huge numbers, but at least it's consistent numbers. So.
Yeah.
That's better than anything else they've got.
Yeah, I mean, if you see everything else, every one of their other comedies has been canceled already, I think. I don't really think that they've re-upped any of them. So, yeah. Here's to hoping.
Woohoo.
Here's to hope.
Yeah. I'm pretty certain. I have this feeling that it probably will get renewed. The funny thing is that even I've been taping it on the DVR, but it's like one of the shows I couldn't wait to get to before, and now I'm kind of like, okay.
See, I can't
I
wait
still
for this
enjoy
Thursday.
it. I enjoy them, but
because it's a G.I. Joe episode, man. It's a G.I. Joe episode.
G.I. Joe episode.
It's animated. It's a G.I. Joe animated Community this
Gotcha.
Thursday. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be wonderful.
I do like the guy that they replaced Pierce. From Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He's got
No, they've got a good cast. Even with those that they've lost, they've still put a strong season together. Do I think it's one of the best seasons? No, but I still think it's been strong compared to last year. It's leaps and bounds better.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's a good thing. I hope they do give it one more.
Give it one more.
But yeah.
I knew this news item. Justin probably already heard about it and can't wait for it. Mystery Science Theater 3000. They're set to host a short riffing series with basically 3 episodes on Nat Geo. I don't know what that's all about on National Geographic.
I have no idea either. I started to read that and I'm like, oh, that sounds weird.
I don't know what they're going to riff necessarily on Nat Geo, but it's going to feature Tom Servo and Crow T Robot. That's the only thing that they've confirmed. So I don't know if they're going to do like the whole silhouettes on screen.
Yeah, I mean, there's really been no information on it. So while I'm intrigued, I don't know what it's all about.
Because I know you've gone to see riff tracks a couple times now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that stuff's excellent. So much fun.
Which are the same guys, but they just talk. Do they even have silhouettes? They just talk over it.
No, they just what it is. They're just standing up on stage, just talking about it.
Oh, okay, that's pretty funny. Back to gaming news real quick. Titanfall was released. I know Justin picked it up and I picked it up. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I
go buy it.
It's good. The only thing I don't like is the lack. Well, there's 2 things. There's a lack of gameplay modes that intrigue me. I mean, the only thing I like to play is attrition, which is deathmatch, basically. I don't play much hard play or dom.
The pilot one is pretty fun too.
The Titan one?
No. Just the pilot one where it's all about killing the pilots.
Oh, that's just Call of Duty. That's what that's what they call that.
The Last Titan Standing though, that sucks. I'm not a big fan of that one. Yeah,
that one's pretty crappy. You would think they would do. I mean, all the game modes are uncreative. They've all been done before by someone else. It's just now they have the pilots and their giant robots included, basically.
Right.
I think they could do something much cooler. Works. Yeah. Oh, it does, but I don't know. I wish they would do something a little different. That and the campaign is practically useless after playing through it once. You play once on each side to unlock your Titan layout, your Strider model and your Ogre model, and there's no reason to do it again. Like, it's not really a story.
Unless that you want the achievement, in which case you're basically screwed, because good luck getting the stages and getting the wins on them that you need for the achievements, because it's all random. So.
Oh, is it?
Well, it's all random unless you kept track, and then you go to those stages, and then you gotta hope that you're put on the right side that you need, either the IMC or militia. And I have no idea which ones that I'm missing on the IMC, because I'm missing that achievement. But every time I try and play the campaign, there's
nobody playing.
Well, it's not that the people are still playing it. It's not a problem getting into a match. It's just a matter of I have no idea which ones I need the win on. And it's completely random to get onto the ones to even have a shot at it. Yeah. So
I just don't like it. I mean, the funny thing is, you could do all sorts of cool objective stuff in it, but all they do is give you attrition and a hard point. So it's basically just death.
I want a dragon. I want to be able to get a dragon in that one stage.
Well, it's funny because they only attack, I think, some of the NPCs, but that'd be cool to get get dragged away by a dragon randomly.
Yeah, exactly.
It drops you. But yeah, I mean, it's still great fun. I'll probably be putting some more Titanfall gameplay behind this in the video version of the podcast. I think I'm only like level 20 something, 30, I'm close to 30s or something. So.
I am 47, I think.
It's gonna take a backseat to Elder Scrolls for a while, though, I think.
Well, mine took a little bit of a backseat to Infamous Second Son, so yeah.
Both good games. Speaking of Titanfall, I guess the 360 is still delayed. 360 version.
I think it's next week.
Next week?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyle wanted me to mention that. I have no idea what he meant by that. I didn't hear anything about being delayed from the original release, but
and once again, we're mentioning that person again.
But he also said, I guess Assassin's Creed is having different games for next gen and current gen. I don't know what that means. So I guess they're coming out with a different game for the next gen as opposed to the current generation console. I don't.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Kyle about that next time.
Yeah, only thing I heard about that was that the next Assassin's Creed game was going to be just for Xbox One and PS4. Like they weren't gonna have PS3 or 360 versions.
Yeah, so I guess they'll
And
have
that
different
might be-
Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
games
that
for the
sounds like
previous
yeah,
ones.
that they'll have one specifically for the current consoles and then one specifically for the previous gen consoles, which I guess makes sense.
I
But
don't think it does make sense, actually.
well, I think that the reason being is that they're trying to push, the new, to play them on the new consoles.
No, I understand. Yeah, so I don't understand. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The part that doesn't make sense is making one just for the old consoles. That makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't know why they would do that. I would think they just would make one for the new one, but
Yeah.
I mean, because it's so hard. It takes so much time to do a port from good graphics to not so good graphics. Cards and older systems, and making everything work. You just lose time out in making a good game. Especially when you want to do it yearly. I don't know. Which they mentioned they're going to continue to keep pushing them out yearly. Maybe that's so they can get 2 years in between. So they'll probably do a current gen Assassin's Creed, and then the following year they'll do one for the 360.
That makes even less sense.
Well, it gives them 2 years. No, well, that's what they do with Batman and Call of Duty.
No,
now.
yeah, but it makes less sense to wait to have a new PS3/360 game come out in 2015 or 2016. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Unless they just want to
I mean, they
continue
might as well
sales.
make a Super Nintendo version.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but people don't play it. It's not readily available. 360s are still readily available.
But by that point, the one and the PS4 will have been out for a year or two, and there's not gonna be there's no way that's gonna happen.
Barely anyone I
They're
knew
not
had a PS3 for a couple years, so
Well, that's because PS3s were awful.
they were pretty bad to start with. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is. They'd be crazy.
Well, we'll find out.
Yep.
I think the reasoning is Kyle said this, and
Yeah, I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I have not confirmed this at all. He's sick.
grain of salt.
Yeah, in the head.
Whole goddamn shaker.
She just tossed the whole bag of salt over your shoulder.
Pretty much. Just forget we even talked about that.
Anyone have anything else?
I want to just throw this out here for a little bit of horror/comedy news that they It's gonna you fucking suck. Just FYI. And for Captain Douchey there, no, they've announced. All right, okay, Metal Gear Solid, that's cool. They've announced that they are working on another Tucker and Dale versus Evil movie. And for those who haven't seen the first one, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, very, very well done movie. It's classified as horror. It's kind of a horror comedy. It is well worth seeing, and they have announced that they are going to do a second one, which I'm not exactly sure what they can do with the second one, because one's kind of cut and dry, and I think the running joke kind of runs its course. But just want to throw it out there for those who haven't seen it. Definitely worth checking out. I think it's on Netflix, so
Yeah,
think it's about an hour and a half of your time. Well worth it.
Winning.
Nice. I'm trying to think. So they basically, it's like a parody of your classic, crazy, silly teenagers in the cabin in the woods. So what? I think they would probably find another kind of, would be hilarious.
It's from the other point of view.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's from another point of view. There's a twist on the story that's always told, and it's very cleverly done. But I'm not sure how they're going to do it again without.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've
seen.
I don't
its
even,
charm.
I don't even think it's like a big spoiler because it was in the trailer for the movie. Like
Yeah,
I
I
watched
guess
it on
Oh, I've
demand,
seen it. No, I
and
know.
They
I'm,
explained it. Yeah.
I'm just wondering
but,
what other
yeah,
kind of
so-
horror movie they would put Dale in. I don't think they would change the, from that cabin in the woods setting to something else, like a Blair Witch Project would be pretty funny, or something like a Paranormal Activity, or something
Yeah,
like
but
Dale.
what
and
else could they do where it looks like Tucker and Dale are, horror movie villains? it just it does seem like that joke would kind of like an Austin Powers thing where the first one was really good and then they just kept using the same jokes over and over and over.
Yeah, but Austin Powers 2 gave you Fat Bastard, so.
Yeah, well, actually, I thought my
second
opinion
one
of
was
Austin Powers
better.
movies was that the first one was good, and the second one they took all of the stuff that worked from the first one and used it again, and then they improved on it, and then the third one they just recycled all the jokes a third time, and that did not work for that reason. But
yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
just we shall see.
Very
we shall see.
Something else I just wanted to, I guess, consider this the Dorkgasm of the week, although I'm not a huge Pokemon fan or anything, but I guess for April Fools, Google Maps is doing a Pokemon challenge thing, so they'll have Pokemon Pokeballs all over their maps and stuff.
I guess technically it
collect
started
them all.
already.
Did it start? Yeah. There's a pretty funny video out there explaining like the next Google, how they always do, new Google service or whatever that's coming. And so the people on their cell phones like looking at a certain location and they're like fighting Pokemon. I thought that was pretty funny though. I haven't heard anything like any other big April Fool's jokes yet. It's funny because nowadays it seems like they announce them ahead of time what they're going to be doing.
yeah, Think Geek always has some good stuff. Blizzard I don't know if they did last year or not, but Blizzard has had
There's
some
been
good
pretty
ones.
good, yeah. My favorite was the
what's funny,
Pandaren
too,
pizza.
Is every year it's coming, and yet these people are out there thinking that a lot of the stuff is real. It just blows my mind. People will be making.
To be
comments
honest,
on
I
things.
have completely forgotten tomorrow's April Fool's, though. I think we're just at the point now where people just don't know it's April Fool's anymore.
Does the Onion put up real news stories on April Fool's Day?
That would be funny. Like people reading it, going, "Wait, that sounds like it's actually happening. What is this?"
Well, to be honest,
it's sad.
Sometimes I think it's real because it's like Sarah Palin said something stupid or something. Like,
Yeah.
well, that isn't that far off.
Actually, yeah, there's been more than a few Onion stories that were, or in the last year or so, like they've actually come true, and that's just really, really depressing.
So yeah, Rob, any other major things that you want to throw out at these lovely listeners, all 3 or 4 of them?
No, I hate them all.
Yeah, well, and that's why
April
they keep coming back for more.
April Fools.
And the April Fools.
Oh yes,
only come
April
from you,
Fools.
not from Rob.
That was a joke. I don't
loves
hate them
all
all.
of you.
Yeah.
He wants to
He
give you
hearts
money.
you.
Except for one of them. I absolutely despise one, and they know who they are, and they know why.
Is it me?
Do you listen to the show?
Well, I have to. I fucking edit it. I put the whole thing together on the video. So
Actually, it would be funnier if you said, "No, I don't listen to it. You've heard what I've put up on the website."
no, I put up the lower thirds and everything on the video. So yeah, no, I listened to the whole thing again.
Oh no, man, when I first started doing podcasts, I would do that, like just meticulously editing everything and like cutting out long gaps of silence and cutting out.
Oh, I don't do that.
Oh man, I was just it just.
I
it
add
took
the
me
intro and
all
add the
damn
ending.
day.
That's it. But
yeah, and then I started doing that, and then I would just kind of like spot check, like here, just randomly pick places to make sure that there was sound, and then post it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do for the audio version, because I know, we've gotten much better. You listen to the first podcast. Oh my goodness, it's horrendous. We got it down.
You guys might have. I've always been really, really good.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
But you had more
without you,
practice.
there would be no podcast, Rob.
I guess. Actually, these days without Krispy, he's
There would-
the one that keeps nagging me.
I do.
I take a lot of nagging.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one that's got to coordinate it and record it, and now I edit it. all Rob has to do is post it on the website. That's it.
Yeah, it
Guess
used to be. Yeah, it used to be I had to record, and then I had some problems, and Krispy
I think
was
you
foolish
you
enough
made
to
up
say,
those
"Oh, I can
problems.
record it."
Yeah, see, it was all a master plan.
I was always
I'm
backing
having
it up
problems.
anyways. I was recording it as a backup anyways, and then yeah, it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm really having problems this week.
Yeah, I can't do this. Oh, you can? Oh, that's super.
Yeah. But it's good because then I have it immediately, and then I can start the YouTube videos thing. So.
That actually, there was one video game thing. I played the hell out of the Stick of Truth and beat it.
Oh my God! You must have played the heck out of it. It's a long game.
It's not that long.
Really?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. It seemed like you could do a lot of exploring and.
Yeah, I did pretty much all. Well, I'm pretty positive I did all the side quests. I did everything. I guess there was like 2 Chimpokumon that I did not find.
How dare you? You didn't catch them.
Yeah, I know. And I guess there were a couple of people that I didn't find to friend. So I did damn near everything. And I was going to do a second playthrough anyway, so I could get some of the other achievements. You know, some of the achievements are mutually exclusive, so you can't get them both on one playthrough. But the game was really, really funny, and the part where you go to Canada was absolutely fantastic. So
yeah, it's on my to-do list at some point in time. I would like to play it.
It was great.
Yes.
The whole thing was great.
And somewhere out there, Kyle's smiling. You know, there's confirmation of him constantly covering the game on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like no one cared before. It's like, oh, South Park game.
Based on it's just nothing but fan service too. It felt like pretty much every episode of that show was somehow referenced in here, possibly in very minor ways. But
yeah, if you like South Park, you're gonna probably want to play the game. Pretty much, is how it goes.
Yeah. I can't imagine that there's gonna be a sequel to this, just due to how much involvement that Matt Stone and Trey Parker had to have. How much time they had to have put into this to make it happen.
Yeah, and I mean that's been in development and they've been making it for years. I mean, I know that they've wanted to branch out and do some other things too, so I would be shocked if they came out with a sequel to it or another one. But because it's one of those where I think this is what was needed. One, and that's it. I mean, this is what everyone was clamoring for. This is what they got, and they've done what they've said they were going to do, so that's all we need.
Yeah, you know what was funny to me is I had not followed any of this game at all. Just because it had been going on for so long, and the previous South Park games were so terrible. I did not have high hopes for this at all. And so, all I knew about it was the episodes where, they dressed up in their little, MMO-y type of outfits.
The Lord of the Rings, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and the Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about it, and I actually, for some reason, thought it was going to be like a traditional style RPG, but with the South Park characters. So you'd have like your class of like wizards, wizard, fighter, and cleric and whatever, and like the early Final Fantasy games or something like that. So I was actually very amused to find out that it was basically it's the kids playing, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretending, yeah.
So,
It's their pretend world.
Just, yeah, it's their.
It's the real South Park,
little,
but warped to.
Yeah. So you're actually wandering around South Park and talking to. Well, Randy Marsh is just always fantastic. So it was not what I was expecting, but it's actually better. Yeah, I think that was probably why I wasn't too excited about it, because I just thought it was going to be an existing type of game with just South Park characters kind of shoehorned in.
Well, it's like with that tower defense or whatever South Park game that they had kicked out that was just,
yeah, that's what. Yeah, they were all so bad. I had no expectations, and this was not that at all. It was just like playing a really long episode of South Park.
I think you could possibly get a sequel if I don't know when they're ever going to cancel the show. I think Comedy Central will let them keep doing it forever if they wanted.
For a ridiculously long amount of time.
So I think it's like through 2020 or something like that. I mean, it's just a really long time.
So I'm like, I don't know if if the show were to go away, you could just make the game. That would make sense. Continued on through there, but it doesn't sound like they're going to cancel it anytime soon.
And I kind of think by the time the show finally does go away, I think those guys are just going to be so tired of it. I think that's the only reason it would go away, is just if they get completely tired of it and don't want to ever do it again.
I would think that would have been now, but
you would have thought so, really.
Yeah.
But
I think the fact that they do side projects like the Book of Mormon and everything, like maybe that kind of
which is so great.
Yeah.
I'm very sad that I missed it when it came to town, but tickets were so
they're ridiculous.
for like the nosebleed seats, like they were so expensive.
Yeah, it's like at least
I kinda
$100
forgot about it.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, when
Terrible.
they came here, I think
True.
that the cheapest tickets that I saw were over 100, and I don't think my wife would let me go by myself. So
Because they require a lot of, which we don't have.
Wow. Had to get one more in, huh?
Just wait till the.
Yeah, I
are we
think
ready
you've
for
got
the ending?
another one. Yeah, I
The
know
ending?
what's coming too.
So normally since Kyle's not here, he can't set me up, but I'm gonna live mix this in right now. So how we normally end it, we're gonna see if this gets this to work here.
It's a trap!